All right, let's get to work.
Hey, Roman, you freaking out?
No.
Yes, you are.
Can somebody just walk me through what we're supposed to be doing?
Justin, you didn't think it could get any better, huh?
Here we go.
Hell yeah! Oh,
Hook him up.
Brian, you're up! I'm gonna get you out of here.
You're gonna have to jump!
Mia Toretto, you don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sins of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is his big bad brother.
We're being hunted. One last ride.
Get low when the whistle go.
Now we talking.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
This is a world that doesn't play by your rules. Like it or not, you and your friends are a part of it now.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Hi everyone, happy Friday. Thanks for joining, and thank you to Jordana for being here today.
Thank you, so happy to be here. Sorry, my voice is a little
Jordana lost her voice from all the promoting she's been doing for Furious 7, so we're gonna try not to strain your voice too much today and not make you yell or scream or talk too loudly. Speaking about the movie, this is the 7th and final installment of the franchise. What has been the highlight for you over all the years and all the filming and all the movies?
It's definitely the 7th. I don't know about final, though. There have been so many different reports out there. We don't know. What's been the most memorable? Definitely the 5th for me, because we went back to Rio, where I grew up, and that was the most fun. I mean, I thought it was such a beautiful backdrop for the franchise.
Since you're from there, did you get to kind of play tour guide for the cast and take them around to your favorite spots?
I did, and I was so psyched to have my whole family on set. And like coming to the premiere, it was amazing.
What was your favorite stunt to do in the franchise? There's some really great ones in this one, and you've gotten to do a lot of really cool ones, so what was your favorite?
In this one, I saw it all as a spectator. I totally missed out, which was such a bummer. But my favorite was the 5th one, when I jump off a roof with Paul. That was just, I mean, that was so scary, but ultimately I was so happy I did it because it looked so cool.
And you did your own stunt for that. You really jumped.
I did. Well, I did the jumping part, not the crashing. Yeah. My stunt double did the crashing part, and she handled it better than I would have.
What was challenging for you about doing this franchise? Was there any time that kind of took you out of your comfort zone or doing the stunts like that?
Yeah, stunts take you out of your comfort zone. But for that one specifically, Paul was like my cheerleader that day because he was such a physical guy and was so good at that stuff that he was like coaching me and telling me what to do. And when I had the physical part down, they were like, okay, Jordana, now you have to match the face to the action, because I was like, as I was jumping, and so I had to try to look like a badass as I was doing it.
So he kind of taught you that confidence and gave you that extra push.
He was literally choreographing it. He was like, okay, left, right, left, jump. So he was definitely my coach.
It seems like the cast is really close and that you guys are like a family. Tell me about that dynamic and how it developed from the first one until now.
It's just been a really, really natural progression because we know each other so well at this point. It's such a fun camaraderie. I mean, it's like this family where we have unconditional love for each other, for better or worse. It's a really fun chemistry that we have, and I think it really comes across on screen.
Do you think the people who come along later in the cast ever feel like a little bit intimidated when they come on set because you guys are tight-knit and they're the newbies?
They must. I mean, I definitely feel that way when I join a new group, and so I'm sure they do, but they're always so welcome. And invariably they become part of the family, like The Rock. Dwayne is now part of our family, so it doesn't take long.
You have a lot of funny personalities in the movie, in the mix. Are there any pranksters or practical jokes on set ever?
Tyrese is the biggest. It's definitely the biggest prankster. And Tyrese and Dwayne can go head to head a lot as far as like matching wits. So that's really fun to watch. And Michelle is very also quite witty.
Did you take anything from the set when you wrapped the movie?
I always try, but they catalog everything to a T because we never know if we're going to continue, especially like Mia's hoop, so you can't see it, and Mia's crucifix. And I always because I'm in such a hurry because I have a son at home to like leave work that I end up wearing my stuff. But I think the only thing I have, it's weird, but I have a bra from the Fast 5 series, because it was a really good one. And that one I did run by Sonia, the costume designer. I was like, I'm gonna steal this bra. And I still have it.
Awesome. In this one, Iggy Azalea has a cameo. Did you get to meet her or work with her at all?
I didn't, unfortunately. I think it was for the race war scene, and I wasn't there.
Your character goes from being a girlfriend and sister to a wife and a mother. And tell me about the trajectory of your character, and also in real life, you're a mother, and how that changes you.
Well, in the first one, she was very much, Dom's little sister, sort of in the shadows. And I feel like it was really in 5 that she found her voice, ironically. And she really just became kind of mama bear. And what amazes me about Mia is that she is so stoic and selfless and is able to tell the guys what to do and has a clear sense of right and wrong. So she's very admirable in that way.
Are you into cars in real life, and what kind of car do you actually drive when you're not working?
I'm not super into, I'm in a very superficial way. I like the way cars look. So I drive a Range Rover, and I like that it's big because it feels safe in LA. And I just had a conversation yesterday with my husband where I was like, because I just dented the car on the side, and I was like, but I didn't hear it beep. And my husband was like, there aren't sensors on the side of the car. So I'm not a good example of what a Fast and Furious driver would be, unfortunately.
What else are you working on post Furious 7?
I'm starting something in May that I can't announce yet because I know I have to wait for someone else to announce it, but it's exciting and it's very different for me, so it's exciting.
You're also the face of Pawns, and you look gorgeous. What are your beauty tips and secrets?
I took a cue from my mom, who's also teaming up with me to represent Pawns, which is really exciting.
Oh, fun.
And to me, it's always been about sort of, not doing anything too crazy and maintenance and sort of, daily obvious things like washing your face in the morning and at night. And now I'm using one of my mom's secret weapons, which is Pond's Rejuveness cream. So it's really fun to be able to model with my mom now.
That's really fun. What are your guilty pleasures?
I love, I'm not going to say love, but I like a good martini. And pizza and frozen yogurt is oddly one of my guilty pleasures as well.
You're making me hungry. What's something that your fans don't know about you?
I just told someone I had a little bit of mild OCD, so I guess they don't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you diagnosed recently, or have you had it for a while?
Like a diagnosis.
Oh,
it's just like
a little bit of a control.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, I think we're going to open it up to questions from the audience. I'm sure there's a lot of fans here who want to ask you questions about the movie. So we're going to take some audience questions if anybody wants to ask Jordana anything.
Hi. What are you watching right now on Netflix potentially, or what do you do when you aren't shooting?
I love TV so much. So right now I'm watching Bloodline, House of Cards. I was watching The Jinx. But those are my top 3 right now. And House of Lies on Showtime too, I really like. And The Affair. So lots of TV.
You've gotten to work with so many people, but is there anybody kind of on your bucket list that you're dying to collaborate with or work with on a film?
The director, I'm completely blanking on his name, but the director of Birdman, and his emphasis, I just loved all his acceptance speeches this year and his emphasis on ego and how it can wreak havoc. So, I mean, he seemed like such a creative guy. I would love to work with him.
More audience questions?
Nothing.
So you work with so many studs on set.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, how is it working with all of the big personalities, and is it always fun or intimidating at all?
It's always, it's really intimidating before you know them. Like, for example, The Rock, the first time I met him, he was like this, huge personality to me, and I was starstruck. Same thing with Jason Statham. And then gradually, it becomes so normalized that I'm like, oh, he's just another guy. But yeah, at first you're very starstruck, but that's part of the fun as well. Jason Statham's really, really good in this one. He's like the ultimate bad guy.
With all the stunts that you guys are doing on set, were there ever any injuries or anything?
Yeah, there always. With me, I was being a little foolish, and I didn't really watch where I was going, and so I tore my hand open, and then got like a tetanus shot. And then one of the camera guys hurt his back in Puerto Rico because they're like jumping after us, so they have to keep up. So yeah, there are injuries on set.
Is it empowering to play your character? Do you look back at the stunts and the things that you're doing on screen and you're like, wow, I did that, that's me?
Yeah, because it was really important to Rob Cohen, who started the franchise with one, that the females were depicted as, being on the same level as the guys, that we weren't eye candy. And then Michelle came on and she also was adamant about that. And then Justin Lin, who directed 3, 4, 5, and 6, was also adamant about that. So it's really nice to be a part of a franchise that doesn't take women for granted, wants to empower them.
Do you have a favorite location that you filmed at during the franchise? You guys have been all over the place filming. I know you said Rio was one of them. Any other ones that were really?
Rio, for sure.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors of New York, which I think would be so amazing.
That would be really cool.
Especially getting around traffic. I'm not sure how anyone would do that.
Would you want to continue the franchise as long as it goes, or do you think you'd ever get to a point where you're kind of like, okay?
I think it just depends on the fans. We have so much fan love, and as long as that continues, I'd want to be a part of it.
What's been the best fan experience that you've had, or anything that sticks out in your mind?
The best fan experience?
Yeah.
Just one-on-one. To me, it's funny, people I encounter every day, whether it be, someone I buy coffee from every day, they don't say anything, and then all of a sudden when the movie's about to come out, they're like, I can't wait to see the film. Yeah. That kind of excitement is really cool, because they're true diehard fans. And then, of course, I love it whenever someone calls me Mia out of the blue instead of Jordana. It's really cool.
Any other questions in the audience for Jordana or Mia?
Hi. Is there any lessons or takeaways you learned from shooting this franchise to help you grow as an actor or actress?
Yeah. Well, from shooting the franchise, sorry, I'm gonna cough. I think I started off so young that I was 18, and I sort of thought I had this handled, you know what I mean? And then gradually, as I grew as an actor, I realized, no, this is something I have to work on and sort of just stoke. And so I started working more and getting into classes, and now I see every job I get as an opportunity to learn more and more. So in that sense, I've learned a lot.
When you were doing the first one, did you have any idea that it would have this longevity, and did you feel like you were a part of something really special? Did you have any inkling?
None. And I was a New Yorker, so I wasn't really that into cars. I mean, I had no idea that we had something special on our hands until everyone embraced us that first opening weekend.
Yeah. It opens today, so everybody make sure to go see it this
Yeah.
weekend. It's supposed to do big numbers, and I've seen it. It's amazing.
It's been really cool, even on Twitter, being able to, because people started going last night and seeing the fans' reaction and being like, oh my God, that's my favorite scene. And it's really nice to get that sort of immediate reaction from fans. It's really cool.
You're active on social media. Do you have a social media strategy at all about what you share or what you respond to or anything like that?
No, the only thing that's tricky for me now is now that I have a son, I post a lot of pictures of him on Instagram, and some people are like, you shouldn't do that, but it's what feels most organic to me, and it's what's most truthful. So I don't really have a strategy. I just try to be as honest without sort of being too honest, because, but my family would get pissed at that point. But yeah, and for me, the trick is not getting addicted to it, because it's so easy to always be on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm always on my phone, and I think that can be a little hard.
Any other questions from the audience? Or if not, I can just keep talking. How do you deal with any online critics or haters or anything? I know on social media there's inevitably somebody saying something sometimes, so how do you deal with that?
I feel like websites have been better about hiding comments, which is really nice, because I used to be a masochist about those comments. I used to read them and then get bummed out, which makes no sense, because it's just, it's so subjective, and the internet really gives everyone a voice, for better or worse. So I haven't been subjected to them quite as much, but I used to go on message boards, which is truly the worst thing you could possibly do to yourself. And on Twitter, luckily, the people that I'm exposed to are followers who like me.
Yeah.
So I'm not really exposed to that many haters, but when I do see something super nasty, I try not to be too crazy about it, but it's hard.
Do you ever Google yourself or?
Never.
No? I do sometimes just to see what's out there.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do.
At least you're honest about it.
Especially when, if paparazzi gets pictures of my son, I want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I do.
Has he started seeing the movies yet, or is he too young?
No, he's way too young. I'm trying, there's studies out there that say they shouldn't have screen time until they're 2 years old. And we're starting to fail, but I try not to let him.
Is it tough to balance being a working actress with a mom as well? Because I imagine you have to take time away and decide what you're going to do. And
I have, I'm so fortunate in that I don't, my hours are so flexible. I can, even if I'm in hair and makeup, or when I was working on Fast, he got to come to the set and visit me. So I think what's the most challenging as a working mom is the mind trip you do on yourself, and the guilt tripping. But to me, what's been most helpful is when I'm with him, leave the phone aside, don't think about work, only be there, and just be a mom, and don't focus on work, and try not to juggle as much, and it's something I'm still trying to do.
yeah. What attracts you to a role? When do you read a script or see something and think I want to do that? What makes you choose?
Usually, if it's going to be a challenge, if it's something that feels very, especially written for a woman, sometimes it's very one-dimensional, and it's just, if it feels boring immediately, it's going to translate as really boring to the audience. But if it feels like something that has different levels, or something you can kind of sink your teeth into, that's what's interesting to me right now.
I think we have a couple more audience questions, so I'll turn it over to the crowd.
Hi there, I'm from Over the Pond. I'm an avid fan of the series.
Thank you.
You talked about Paul and stuff. Do you feel they've left enough time for true hardcore fans to grieve and deal with Paul's passing?
Have you seen the movie yet?
Not properly.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there's ever a right time. I've been asked a lot, how did you deal with, his passing? And my answer is always, I'm still dealing with it, because there are days that are easier than others, and then there are days where it still feels like it just, it's not something, it's something that's quite unbelievable, because it should have never have happened. But the movie does a really beautiful job of celebrating his life. And ultimately, when I saw the film, I was really, really happy that everyone around the world gets to see the last thing he worked on. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Sorry. Hi. You were talking about your son, and I was just curious. As a mom who works a lot, do you do any like mommy and me classes with him, or like cute little music play date stuff?
I do. Well, it was hard because for the first 7 months we were in Texas and I was shooting Dallas, and my pediatrician was like, you can't go anywhere with him because it's flu season, and that was so hard. But I think one of the most fun things to do are like those classes. So we have mommy and me, we have music class, we have art class, and I'm looking for a soccer class. So the answer to that is yes, many classes.
Okay, well, we're almost out of time, and we're going to let you rest your voice, but thank you so much for being here today, and everybody make sure to go see Furious 7 in theaters today. And thank you to Jordana for being here.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone who watched.